Hi everyone, my name is Jeff Starr and this is my channel Not Bad Films. These contain Sitars and they were sent to me from a music store in Urbana, Illinois called Old Deli Music. You may have seen that I did an interview with the founder of Old Deli Music, Nick Dillon, and we talked mostly about harmoniums, which is what they specialize in. But I have been learning the sitar for a while now, 8-ish years, let's say. Nick wanted me to review some of the sitars that they sell, and particularly these newer models that they just got in. So I said, sure, but there's a couple things. One, he's not paying me to do this. Two, and that I would be very honest in whether I thought they were good or bad. And when I'm done, I am sending these back to him. There's no sort of, there's nothing sort of shady going on here. He's sending them to me to check them out and tell you about them, and then I'm sending them back. If I really like them, maybe I'd buy one, but I don't, I don't know if my wife would agree with that. I asked him to send me two styles, one a Ravi Shankar style and the other a Vilayat Khan style. So we could sort of look at the two different gharanas and sort of string configurations, and we'll see how they're tuned, so forth. I don't expect these to be in tune when I get them out of the box, but we'll get a quick first impression of them and we'll see how they are. Other things sort of to note is Nick told me that they try to be ecologically conscious, and so sometimes they use some reused packing materials. So I might see newspaper in here, or I'm not sure what. I don't know how they've been packed, so that'll be interesting. If you do buy one of these and you see some reused packing materials, that's because they're trying to lower their just overall waste and sort of be more ecologically sound, right? So let's lay these down and let's see what we got. Obviously, sitars are very fragile. See how well they sort of survive. I think that's one of the big things that if I was buying an instrument online like this and having it shipped, that'd be one of the things I was concerned about. Like how is it going to survive? You know, boxes aren't super heavy. This is ridiculous. Okay. Now, I'm going to be trying to be sort of careful with how I unpack these because, like I said before, I'm supposed to send these back when I'm done with them. Nick is paying for return shipping, so I just make that clear. I had him put that in writing, but I'll need boxes to send them in, so I'm going to try to make sure that the boxes survive. There's shredded paper in here. There's a couple pieces of styrofoam that have been reused, but you can see here. I think I need to get I need a garbage bag to put this stuff in. Okay, I can't find the garbage bags. Okay, so this is actually perfect. I found got one of these huge like contractor sized garbage bags. So I think this will hold all the packing material. Hopefully audio on this is okay. I should have like a boom mic or something, so I sort of just stuck this sort of my Neumann TLM 102 sort of in the room. I put a mic on top of the camera as well, but if you can't hear me and it's sort of noisy or it's a lot of room echo, I don't usually shoot a lot of videos like this, so I'm sort of improvising. Lots of shredded paper. If you haven't seen my interview with Nick from Old Deli Music, where the music store that sent these, I really recommend checking it out. He's super chill. He's a very inspiring entrepreneur. He really cares about quality and wanting to just improve everything that he's sort of touching. There's these larger pieces of styrofoam that are around the instrument to help sort of protect it sort of from all sides. So it has a little like more harder structure around it, and then of course fill them with all these like scrap pieces. Oh, this is cool. It's I was not expecting. It's in a feels like a hard fiberglass case. All right, one is out. These appear to be in like a nice fiberglass case. Handle on these. And the case actually stands up on its own, which is kind of nice. The fiberglass case I have for my main sitar now is more rounded on the bottom, so it doesn't want to stand. Obviously, you probably wouldn't want to stand your sitar up a lot, but it's nice to know that, like, if you're going to do that for a split second, it's not going to tumble over. So I'll have to look up the name on what these are. That's still a mystery. I don't recall offhand, but I'll be very curious to sort of see how differently these play, their sound. Also, I'm going to be mostly interested in hearing the jawari on these, how the bridge has been set up. I think that's one of the fine mysteries of a sitar. Say that my expectations right now for the jawari is that it'll need to be broken in a little bit, and I think that's pretty common on something that's be new. If you're not familiar with the bridge on a sitar, it's flat and sort of has a curve to it, and that's what causes the buzzing sound. Depending on the style of sitar you have, it'll buzz more or less. This is, of course, two different styles, so I'll be curious to see how that comes out and how they've set them up coming out of the store and sending them to me. One of the things that Old Delhi Music does is that when they get instruments in, they go through a rigorous QC check, both in India, and then when they come to the States, they overgo a full sort of like setup and additional quality control to make sure they're where they should be. Even with having the second tumba, this case also stands, so that's sort of nice. I'm gonna get this box out of here though, and I'm gonna lay these down because I don't want anything to happen to them. I'm sweating way too much for opening some boxes. I haven't opened the cases yet, but I'll say just based on the case alone, I like the case a lot. Really nice latches, they got wheels, they're balanced really nice, they got a really good rubber, thick rubber handle on them. I don't know if Nick sells cases separately, but I think these are really nice cases. All right, so this is sort of our moment of truth. I put the double tumba, what I assume is the Ravi Shankar style sitar up here first. Let's see how this is. First impressions. Like I said, I like the case so far. I think there's 3 latches here, plus the little strap. Some more padding in here, a little styrofoam to protect it from wobbling around in shipment. Oh, look at this. Oh, hello. Jeffrey, don't drop it. Also got some mizrabs with the sitar as well. Sounds like they've detuned this for shipment. And these are Naeem Sitar Maker, made in Miraj, India. I have not played Naeem Sitar Maker sitar, but I've heard good things online. But so far it looks very nice, very shiny. I'm going to set this on the floor so it's a little more stable. All right, now I'm going to open up the Vilayat Khan style, or Etol Garano sitar. This one has a really nice big rubber handle on it and a shoulder strap too. Mahogany on the tag, so I'm guessing it's a dark mahogany color. Oh, there's another latch way down the bottom. Nice. Ooh. More mizrabs. Some strings, which I'm guessing probably are in the other sitar as well. And nice little styrofoam to protect all your key points. It's a nice case. Very soft. And then this one is definitely detuned for sure. So these will need to be tuned up before I can play them. Let's take them out. All right, so I've taken the 2 sitars out of their cases, had a moment to look at them. So far, everything seems great. There's a couple quick things I just want to point out if you were to buy a sitar online. I think this first point probably applies to most sitars you might get delivered through the mail. But certainly with these that came from Old Delhi Music, they something you should know about. So I'm holding here the Ravi Shankar style sitar, and there's these little posts here. It might be a little hard to see, but these are the posts for the chakari strings. These strings need to sit on these posts in the little grooves there, right? For shipment, they take the strings off so that just to reduce tension and any sort of chance of the string breaking. But one of the things I liked is that these did ship with an extra set of strings, so if something did break, or on your first time tuning it up, or your 10th time tuning it up, it comes with a set. So now you got to tighten those strings up and get them back to pitch. One thing you're going to notice is that some of the windings may just be sort of loose and now a little sloppy. This is nothing to worry about, but one of the things you're going to think about is the angle that the string is falling as it goes across either the nut of the sitar or across the body to the tuning peg. My recommendation here is to try and keep the angle as smooth as possible, not to have it too sharp. The way the string is falling is a sharp angle. You'll find that it wants to snag either in the nut or in the instrument itself. If the string is catching and sort of snagging and then slipping through, it's going to make it difficult to get it in tune. Also, this angle is very sharp. If you're looking at like a 90-degree angle, your string is much more likely to break because of the way it's being bent. So in my personal experience, the smoother the angle you can get that string, the better. And of course, keep your windings sort of tight and close to one another. Now, if you are a sitar luthier and everything I've just said is completely wrong and you disagree with it, please leave me a comment. This is just based on my own personal experience with my sitar. Next, when you look at the chakari strings and you're trying to get them into the posts, make sure that you're putting the correct chakari into the correct post, and pay attention to that string angle when you're winding, as I mentioned, but also look to make sure that your string is not catching on one of the metal frets. Because of the way the strings on a sitar lie, it's not uncommon for the chakari string, as it's moving from the post to the tuning peg, to want to hit one of your frets. And if you can avoid that, that's probably preferable. Fewer points of contact is generally better. Okay, so here is a tuning guide for a Ravi Shankar style sitar. I put this in the key of C, but C sharp is also quite common. And depending on your instrument, you may be able to go as high as D, but I think C is the most common. I've listed this in Western notation, but also I've put the Indian names for the notes as well. And here is a tuning guide for a Vilayat Khan style sitar. This is in D. This is the key I feel most members of this gharana use. It's also what I use on my sitar. If you do put your Ravi Shankar style sitar in D, be prepared that you may break a string because it may not really be designed to go to that level of tension. You may find that C sharp versus C gives you better resonance. And same thing on your Vilayat Khan sitar, you may find that C sharp versus D causes better resonance, and that's going to be somewhat unique to your instrument, but primarily D for Vilayat Khan and C for Ravi Shankar style. The tumba on here is a gourd. A gourd is pretty traditional, but obviously this is something you have to be very careful about not to break. This gourd was packed with a big piece of styrofoam, a sheet of styrofoam sort of over the top, of course in the fiberglass case. So it seemed pretty well protected in shipment, which I thought was very good, because it's probably one of the most common pieces to break just in the life of a sitar. Everything looks really great, really shiny. I haven't tuned them up though, I haven't played them. There was a loose piece of sandpaper in the case, which looks like this. And you might be thinking, well, why is there a piece of sandpaper in the case? It's going to scratch it up. It was packed so that the gritty side was away from the sitar. I wish it was maybe in a little plastic bag, but it obviously didn't cause problems. And that would be my one little criticism, just because it's sandpaper. Why is this in here though, right? It's very common to want to put this underneath the strings at this end, so that when you're using your fine tuning bead, it has a little bit more grip and doesn't want to slide so much. I'll show you on my my normal everyday sitar. You can probably see there's a little piece of sandpaper underneath the bead there. That sandpaper is there to prevent that bead from slipping, like I was discussing. So if you see this in your sitar. That's what that's for. I did not see this in the case for the Ravi Shankar style, Mayhar Gharana style sitar. Mayhar? Is it Mayhar or Mayhar? We'll just go with Ravi Shankar style for now. We'll keep it simple. Perhaps it's in there. I may have missed it, but I did not see that in there. Although I think it's not as common. A couple other things is that on the Vilayat Khan style, you'll see that the tuning pegs are just a more simple fluted style, and the tarf string pegs for the sympathetic strings are also a little bit plainer, which is common. And you'll also see that the bridge is what looks like ebony. I'll have to confirm, but you see it's a dark wood there. And if we look at the tuning pegs on the Ravi Shankar style, they are the more intricate lotus style, and the tarf pegs are a little fancier. Sorry, it's hard to hold this up. And that's something to note, because a lot of times people will suggest that the level of ornamentation in the design of the sitar, you'll see this a little bit more ornate, indicates its quality or its value, but that really depends within the style of sitar. If you were looking at two Ravi Shankar style sitars and one had lotus style tuning pegs and another had fluted style, then the lotus would generally be considered to be probably more expensive or more well made. But when you're looking within the different gharanas, the different styles, that's not the case. The Vilayat Khan style, or Etwa Gharana, oh God, I'm never going to get it right, tends to be less ornate and simpler in its, simpler in its fanciness. That's not a very good way to put that. Just less ornate. This is tricky. Okay, so here they are. How do I hold this? This is a little tricky, two at once. Okay, so here they are, both of them together. I have to say that when I started posting videos on YouTube about learning the sitar, I never thought that down the road someone would be sending me two sitars to unbox and review and give you my opinion on. I feel extremely flattered by that, but I will be doing an honest review of these. So if you want to see that and learn more about these and hear what I have to say and hear them tuned up and actually played, please make sure you like and subscribe and come back and visit the channel when that video gets shot, which will be next in the queue of things to do. This is really exciting for me. I feel like I've I've unlocked some secret YouTube life goal or something. Thank you so much for watching, and if you have any questions, leave me a comment. All right, it's time to tune these up and get playing. All right, thank you so much for watching. Happy practicing. I gotta move this mic out of the way.